Hi, this is Mark Birch, and today I'm going to explore Carol Ann Duffy's FOREIGN to support analysis and revision. Written in the second person, FOREIGN is a dramatic monologue in which the poetic voice addresses the reader directly, asking them to imagine what it's like to feel alien in the place that they live. The use of this form helps Duffy to convey the personal impact of feeling different. While appearing to offer personal experience, the use of the second person distances the poetic voice from the experiences described, complementing the sense of alienation that Duffy explores throughout the poem. Written in 4 quintains, the regularity of the stanza structure may represent the regularity of the poetic voice's life. The life has a mundane regularity, brought about by the need to just get by, as conveyed in the third stanzas, work, sleep. The imperative imagine that opens the poem requires the reader to empathise with the plight of the displaced individual. Duffy creates a possible world for the reader, but reveals that this is a reality for some. The 20 years that the persona has lived in the city is a significant period of time, so it's all the more odd that the city should remain strange even after this long duration. There's a sense that it's the way in which the poetic voice is othered that makes the city remain inhospitable. The city is presented as ominous through the juxtaposition of 2 adjectives that have negative connotations: strange, dark. The association of dark with the hidden renders it threatening, but it may also provide a contrast to the poetic voice's homeland, a place of light. The dismal dwellings are presented as one of the worst areas in this dark city, yet the poetic voice reveals that one of them is yours. The alliteration of the hard d sounds complement the description of this harsh environment through the harshness of that d. The position of the dwellings on the east side contributes to the sense of isolation. The dwellings are marginalised, in a similar way to the poetic voice, being at the fringes of the city and society. The concept of being distanced from others could be conveyed by the echo of words down the stairs. Echoes can only be created in empty large spaces, so the idea of one existing here complements the motif of social distance and alienation. Duffy captures the echo itself through the use of assonance. The F sound in foreign accent echo is repeated just as an echo repeats sound. The reader hears the sound that could be said to represent the loneliness of the poetic voice. The loneliness and isolation is stressed through the reference to the language of your own. This is not language that allows for social interaction, but one that separates. Communication has to be conducted in theirs, a language that the poetic voice does not identify with. The second stanza begins with the poetic voice writing home. The choice of home conveys a sense of belonging that's in stark contrast to the dwelling in which she has to live. This belonging is reinforced by the reference to adopting a local dialect when writing home. A dialect's a form of language peculiar to a particular geographical region, so it provides a connection to the poetic voice's home. The pronoun in behind that refers to the voice in your head. Behind the voice that speaks in a local dialect is the origin of this voice, your mother singing to you. The sense of belonging to a language culture is connected to family and the first experience of words. The native language is associated with comfort, and the connections with place and family are reinforced by an internal rhyme of ago and no that structurally mirrors this connection. The memories of home and family bring the poetic voice to tears. She doesn't know the word for what prompts this, but we might label it nostalgia or love. The tears may be fostered by the loss of home and family. Again, Duffy strengthens the sense of lost connection, this time through an overwhelming use of connected sounds in the alliteration of w, why your eyes are watering and what's the word. While the alliteration creates connection, each alliterative word is separated from the next. The monotony of the poetic voice's existence is conveyed in the opening of the third stanza. You use the public transport, work, sleep. There's no enjoyment here, just the necessities of existence. Public transport suggests a lack of independence, and is a functional means of getting somewhere, probably work, rather than something to be desired for its own sake. The lack of variety may be captured by the use of holophrastic sentences. Work, sleep. A sentence is wholly composed of the noun, suggesting that the woman's life is composed of these aspects of life only. The recognition of a name for yourself appears to be a reference to race-hate graffiti. Duffy suggests graffiti through the verb sprayed and the prepositional phrase against a brick wall. The simile red like blood renders the hate all the more threatening given its connotations of violence. The use of minor sentences in a hate name and red like blood complement this, given the cutting off of the grammatically complete sentence. The stanza ends with the image of falling snow. This would conventionally be an image of beauty and purity, but Duffy corrupts this conventional association through the simile as if this place were coming to bits. Even snow is transformed through the poetic voice's alienated perspective into an image of decay and destruction. The final stanza places the poetic voice in a delicatessen, attempting to buy fruit. It's a moment when language fails her, and she's unable to think of the word for the item she wants to buy, being forced to point. Her continuing struggle to function in this alien society is also conveyed through her difficulty in working out the true cost of the fruit, as she wrestles with what the coins in her hand would mean in her native currency. They will not translate. Finally, the you that has dominated the poem becomes one of you, reductively grouping immigrants together. Duffy presents the direct speech of an immigrant with the non-standard grammar, illustrating the difficulties of fitting into a different society. The words expressed seem to convey the immigrant's failure to understand the easy life of those born into this society. They only go to bed and dream. Their lives are comfortable, and sleep is a pleasure. Imagine that represents how unimaginable the easy life is to this immigrant. It echoes the opening line of the poem, with the cyclical nature perhaps suggesting how difficult it is to escape the cycle of poverty that traps so many immigrants. Okay, ta!